I fell a bit behind on some reviews for IEMs that I was sent, so I figured I'd tackle them all at once. We'll be looking at the EPZ and Tipsy Star One, as well as a couple IEMs from ND. These IEMs were sent to me by their respective companies, but I'm not being paid to promote them and all impressions are my own. So let's start with EPZ. This is a company that I've covered before with their Q5, an IEM that had quite a bit of positive reception. And now we're looking at the Star One. This is a single dynamic driver IEM that comes in at around $90. The shell is resin and it comes in 2 colors. This IEM does seem to be popular for how it looks, and if that's the design that you're going for, this could be quite positive. Sound wise, it does try to be somewhat similar to Harman, but it does have a little bit more upper mids peak. To me it does sound a little bit bright and shouty, but overall it's not too bad. One thing that they do advertise and point out in the product page is that these have a higher impedance for an IEM, and they also mention that these are designed more for stage use. They're 64 ohms, which is quite high for IEMs, but perhaps this was done to help reduce signal noise such as hissing or static, depending on what source you'll be plugging them into. Overall, they are a somewhat decent IEM, and there's maybe one that you might want to get for its aesthetic as well. Next we'll look at the IEMs from ND. The ND001 is a hybrid IEM with 1 dynamic driver, and 4 BA drivers per side, 2 for mids and 2 for high frequencies. They come in at $55, and unfortunately they have a lot of issues. First of all, the build just feels very cheap. They're resin, but the resin has an almost matte, unfinished feeling to it when it's in your ear or just holding it. And it also feels very light for its size. The cable that it comes with is also very thin and light and seems prone to tangling. Once we finally consider the sound though, this is also where it really doesn't work very much for me. They are very warm sounding, having a bass boost that extends quite high, followed by a boost at around 700 Hz as well, and then an immediate dip right in the ear gain region between 1 to 3K. This ends up giving them a very hollow and muffled sound, almost like talking into a tin can. They also have this weird effect on my listening experience where the tonality is somewhat similar to music being played at a distance, like if you were listening to music being played in a hall and you're standing outside. But the sense of width and space is so narrow that it causes almost a confusing disconnect to what I'm hearing, almost as if my brain expects the localization to be different based on the sound profile, but it's hearing it as if it's very close, and it causes almost a confusing listening experience. For me, unfortunately, this IEM doesn't work very well. We do have another IEM from ND though, a chance to redeem themselves, and to be honest, it kinda does. The NDZR is a single dynamic driver IEM from ND that costs $25, and in all honesty, it's just an improvement in every way. The build feels finished better, and I actually do kinda like how it looks. The cable's been improved and it does sound better as well. It's still not my favorite tuning, having a bit too much upper mids and it is a bit shouty, and it's somewhat similar to older KZ style tuning, but with the less bass. At this price, there are other recommendations I would make, but just comparing it to the 001, this is still more enjoyable, and at lower listening levels it's not too bad. Well, that's really all I have to say for this one. It was kind of quick, but I was just trying to catch up on some things that kind of fell behind my schedule. Thanks for watching.